what happens when we do get to that map too.
Pretty sure I've heard people from like LAZARUS mention that Mexico is just a map that they kind of enjoy, but I mean, letting it through is very interesting because a lot of the teams really do despise playing on Mexico because it is one of those maps that is very hard to eke out an advantage to, you know, give yourself that win. Anyway, here we are. It is unKnights versus LAZARUS, and first up, we are on compound.
Yeah, this was the choice of unKnights. Of course, they did ban out Ankara, so while LAZARUS were 0-6 on port, they were 6-0 on Ankara, so definitely the favorite of LAZARUS, and that immediately is going to get banned away by pretty much every team in this tournament that LAZARUS has to play, I would imagine.
Yeah, see Pietro having a bit of a dive into double pillars. There's no one really from LAZARUS looking in there. We do have Jin just trying to gain some information to see if there is a push towards B. But unKnights are just going to rotate back into that central plaza and just hold things down and give themselves the options. They do have the options now to go A or B, and grenades coming into A. Just smoking and flashing that out. And still deciding where to go. We do have Madison sitting nice and tight in that corner. He might just get the drop on Pietro, who might be the first to peek through here. HCZ is looking in the direction. HDZ might be ready to drop. And there's MKZ. There's one. And almost two, but VZ from the back gets up a double kill here. He gets Pietro and Beck. And this is all going LAZARUS' way.
Yeah, great start for them, as unKnights not able to break through that formation effectively. They still do have HDZ and HZZ looking to try to make a move, but LAZARUS in currently a very nice defensive kind of arc that they got going on here, as into the spawn they go, and Vise is going to trade 1-for-1. That's all he essentially had to do, and HDZ not going to be able to get it done all by himself. So LAZARUS off to a good start.
Yeah, that's the kind of start you need when you get your first game in this tournament. They do have a lot to do today, LAZARUS. So this is a good start. Can they continue to build this through and maybe completely take the tournament, as Beck eats a face full of grenades and is about 50% HP? Like, that's a big hit early on.
Yeah, pretty rough to take that much from just the grenade early. And let's see what the strategy here will be from unKnights. Once again, they got stopped towards the front part of Central Plaza. Will they go for it again? The smokes are coming out here. It does look like they do want to commit to this, as Madison once again in position. Who could have seen this coming? So, that's just going to be a 2K for him. And Beck will at least trade it back.
Yeah, nice. Oh, nicely done around the corner. Just almost knew intuitively exactly where he would be. That's another big kill. Pietro and HDZ have it all to do. It's 2 against 4, but we've seen time and time again, being 2 men down isn't always a disadvantage. Some teams do thrive in these situations. Oh, he almost got him there. HDZ almost took the head off of Loons, I think it was. So yeah, unKnights have to play very, very slow, very tactically if they're going to be able to do this, but they're just kind of pinned down.
Yeah, similar situation to the first round. HDZ, maybe if he gets a couple of picks and some kind of miracle can get started. And Pietro, low on health, probably just going to lead the charge, try to draw some fire. There you go, but 40 just going to win the sniper duel, and Loons takes out the very low health of Pietro. And that is 2 rounds early already here for LAZARUS.
Yeah, that's a dream start for LAZARUS. Remember, if they win this, they're guaranteed to go to the semifinals, as unKnights would be 0-2 in the tournament. And when there's only 2 matches to play, you cannot go through to a semifinal with a 0-2.
Yeah, that's doesn't work.
Mathematically impossible, as we do see a bit of a double pillars push here, as Pietro is going very deep and Jin is patiently waiting. He's going to bump into AZZ, who is going to take a cap off of him there. And that's a good early pickup by unKnights.
Yeah, trying to mix up the strategy. Not going to push through Central Plaza 3 times in a row, as we do have Madison trying to push up, trying to get some information about if they will rotate out of these double pillars, and he might get more than the information he was looking for here in just a bit.
Maybe not, because HCZ is wrapping around. I think they know he's there, so you can see HCZ having a little dig. He might just be able to catch Madison completely unaware, but Beck, oh, there we go, turns the corner just at the right time before he does pick up a kill for himself, and that is now a 4v3 situation.
Yeah, best situation that unKnights have been in so far. And very spread right now are the side of LAZARUS. 40 pretty far up here in the room, just looking for another snipe before this one gets going. So he does spot Beck, and just a little pre-fire and a runaway. Gets some information for the team. They have the other two guys just plopped on to B, hoping that they push into that.
Yeah, and that might be the plan. There's about 45 seconds remaining, so they're going to have to make a move at some point in the very near future, and it does look as though B is going to be the location. We have unKnights pushing through double pillars now, and now they have to break the server room, and it is Loons and Vise in the pit.
Pietro, as always, leading the charge, putting his body on the line. Just going to run straight into Loons, takes him out. They get 40, and, of course, Vise on the servers, and that will be unKnights on the board for their first round.
Very good response here from unKnights. They know it's all or nothing in this match, so they're going to have to put down a lot more if they're going to continue to survive in this tournament. They are 2-1 down. It's still early doors. Come back as we have MKZ just shooting through the box. Not going to tag anyone, but still, it's always worth it. Can't win if you don't try, and bit of a jump up onto the containers here. Just taking a look, seeing if Madison is in that spot again.
Madison has backed way up into B. Nice little focus on the B stack for now, but it does mean that there is a little bit less coverage in the center of the map.
Yeah, Madison's position, and it's kind of put an ounce of doubt into unKnights. You can see they have to check every corner pushing through that middle, because they know Madison has been in those little like nooks time and time again, and he has always managed to seem to get at least one kill and trade himself out, which is big news. But Madison here is just kind of chilling against the wall. He's just waiting and waiting until someone decides maybe to rotate over onto B. But unKnights, they're still undecided. They haven't chose where to go. MKZ does take a little bit of grenade damage there from, I think, Loons' grenade. Yeah, it looks as though they are going to go through double pillars. They're going to push up, and another grenade coming from the side of LAZARUS. I think did get a connection there against unKnights, and that's just going to chip away at their resources. Pietro goes very low, but HCZ, they do what they do, and they pick up two very early kills. Madison is the only man in the service. He's going to try and get done what he can. He gets one, he gets Beck. Can he continue it on? No. Loons actually goes down. Madison does go down to Pietro, and now it is a 4 versus 1. 40 has it all to do. He switches to a rifle, and is going to have to try and retake B, but doesn't even get the chance as HTZ shuts him down.
Yeah, a bit of a slow start for unKnights, getting caught in mid a couple of times, but after that, their pushes have been a lot more effective. Just getting those initial picks, the snipes from HTZ on the attack have been very nice. As, you know, Vine's just trying to check to see if somebody's in there, and then he just gets his head taken off. It's like, well, now that's so much defensive capability just immediately taken off the table. Jin is left alone, and unfortunately lost the duel himself against ZZ as well. And then from there, it's a relatively easy push from unKnights, so has been a pretty good showing here in the last couple of rounds from them.
Yeah, definitely. And what we see now is a very defensive positioning here this time from LAZARUS. They're sitting very, very deep and just allowing unKnights free roam of about 70% of the map, right? Like, they can move around through Central Plaza. There's no one with eyes down there. No one's really looking. No one's really checking. We do have, I think, Jin sitting in double pillars, just making sure no one pushes up there towards B. But the flashes are out, and we see MKZ being very, very forward. Madison kind of just chilling around the corner, might be able to pop out and get a very important kill. but is going to sit very pretty. Madison does peek out, but doesn't see anything, and is going to start rotating over towards that A site.
Yeah. unKnights have been taking the early parts of these rounds much slower after the first couple of rounds that we did see where they got caught out. So using that extra utility, making sure they can at least take over part of the map when they do go for their initial push. As 40 is going to stop that initial push, but FKZ, nice trade back. Madison, perfect position, going to take out the rush through that doorway. As HDZ at least does trade it back on the sniper.
Madison very much is a Phantom on this map, but it doesn't matter if you're a Phantom. HCZ has all the ghost busting tools he needs to take him off the map. Jin is the last man standing, and it's HDZ and HCZ. This pairing of unKnights just so good together. Jin has all the work to do and just cannot get it done as HDZ does finish him off, and unKnights get their toes in front in this one.
Yeah, the H brothers are having a field, the HZ brothers maybe? Having a field day so far. The pickoffs from HDZ are fantastic. HDZ getting that double kill on the late entry from long was really fantastic. And LAZARUS just a little bit behind the pace, it does feel like. They're getting some leads in these rounds, but now it does feel like unKnights are just winning in some of these critical firefights that we are having later on in the rounds. And, you know, imagine if unKnights start to really put on the pressure, they don't get caught out by Madison. I do worry for LAZARUS.
Yeah, they kind of just have to pick themselves up a little bit here and maybe go for a super aggressive push down center that we saw yesterday to some effect. Can't remember which team it was. Was it Anubis? 3BL? A few of the teams just decided to push very deep into that central plaza.
Yes.
And yeah, it worked out a couple of times. So it could be something up the sleeves of LAZARUS, as we do have both teams just kind of figuring out where everyone is, trying to find as much information as possible. unKnights, are they gonna go for an A push this time? They are closing off that double pillars area. They make sure that they have full control of the center just to give them rotation options.
unKnights have just been very meticulous about these early rounds, using 4 grenades to just try to clear out the central plaza. 40 again, gonna get this bonus kill in mid before the fight even begins.
Yeah, and MKZ is gonna reach around the corner. Vice is there, he gets 1, cannot get 2, but did lay down a world of hurt onto the rest of unKnights. Beck and HCZ very low. It is a 4v3 situation, and Beck does make his way into servers, and the rest of unKnights is following. The C4 is down. We do have a wraparound from HDZ, but it looks as though Jin is preparing for this. He's preparing for a rotation through that double pillar area as the rest of LAZARUS look to breach, and Loons gets an important entry frag right there. And Madison also takes down HDZ. Jin gets HDZ. And just like that, LAZARUS tie things up. It is 3-3.
Yeah, it did look like unKnights were in position to stop the retake, but just a couple of critical entry kills were really what got the job done. You know, just a couple of heads poking out there from unKnights that just got taken off. Not quite able to hit their own shots, so shout out to LAZARUS, able to tie things up once again. And now they're getting aggressive as well. Trying to say, hey, we can run with you guys, and in fact they are. They're gonna win this fight in mid handily, 3-0, and now they can just back off and do whatever they want.
Yeah, caught them completely unaware. unKnights kind of got into the lull of, you know, LAZARUS playing very deep and defensive, and again, switching things up sometimes on that global risk side is enough to give you an advantage, and it definitely worked out for LAZARUS there. They're in full control. This round is theirs to lose.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, HCZ might warrant into trouble. Oh, nice. Tough round just in time to get 40. That's the first thing he needs to do. He needs to do it 3 or 4 more times to win this match out, as HDC does take a pretty nice sniping position there.
Yeah. Not sure exactly why 40 was kind of running in there by himself with a pistol, but trying to get the jump onto HCZ. Maybe he got some information from his teammates that he was in there. As now HDZ getting some information, trying to hop down and get this first snipe.
Oh, he's going to run into trouble. Vice just up to the challenge. They popped out at exactly the right time as ACZ is trying to breach this B side all on his own. And the rest of Lazarus is just going to all come in from the same direction, which would have made it slightly easier, you know, slightly easier for him to perform, to do some kind of miracle. But yeah, it just wasn't good enough. Lazarus taking another win.
Yeah, all started with that aggression in mid in the central plaza, and now unKnights, they come in here, they throw a bunch of grenades, trying to put a stop to that aggression, and they will, but you'll note the crossfire once again from Madison and Vise in mid, just trying to make sure that nobody's actually going to come in through there. As unKnights have been a bit stubborn about, you know, just making sure they do take control of this area of the map, which is very important on compounds, but, you know, maybe just some of that aggression they showed through double pillars that seemed pretty easy for them earlier on could be another answer. And as we know, it is only Jin who has been the player that hasn't been pitting up the biggest numbers so far that they could run straight into. And it does look like they do want to push this a little bit.
We're going to have to see how much they want to commit to this, because MKZ is all alone, and he is the one who's probably going to run around and pick up the C4 from behind the team if this is successful. If they can get Jin off the board early, it might just be a full rush into B. But they are playing very slowly, and Jin has just retreated back to the safety of that B side. He's down in the pit, so it is going to be a relatively easy push forward here for unKnights, and we do have to see if MKZ is going to run around and pick up the C4, or it looks like HDZ is going to run back to grab it and then join the rest of his team. So it is going to be no, they've decided to change tacks here.
Yeah, it does kind of look like unKnights are unsure about exactly what they want to do as well, which is not a good sign, as Vise is going to just pop out and nearly take out MKZ just like that. 30 seconds only, and they could just try to run straight into B, which does look like their only option at this point, but Vise and crew are getting a lot of value there in Central Plaza as the push in here is being stopped for now. Jin gonna get that first kill. Ludes with a nice spray as well, gonna take out Pietro. There's only 14 seconds left.
Yeah, Madison holding down and just isolating HDZ out of this one. And then the C4 isn't going to get planted, and Lazarus take another win here and put themselves at least a victory into the first half.
Yeah. Not exactly sure what the game plan was there from unKnights. I mean, I understand trying to be a bit tricky, going for later pushes, maybe trying to get those picks and waiting until the last second, but just felt like they didn't give themselves enough time to do anything outside of kind of a desperate rush into B after you had already lost a couple of members in Central Plaza, which has been very consistently Lazarus's territory.
Yeah, the kill zone here between Madison and Vise has just been working perfectly each time. It denies so much space from the side of unKnights, because you do sometimes want to push up into that central, like the upper part of the Central Plaza, right, where you get the fork in the road between A and B. It's a very nice position to take because you have so many options available, but Lazarus is just denying that opportunity and forcing unKnights into these uncomfortable side positions through double pillars, through the pipe. You know, they're kind of pushed out to the edges, and once you go at one edge, you're kind of committed. So all it takes is a little bit of information for Lazarus. HDZ takes off 40 there. And that would be maybe a little bit of information going to the side of Lazarus that an A push is coming. But how committed are unKnights in this one?
Yeah, I mean, the C4 is still way back with Beck, who is just stopping a rotation from double pillars at this point in time. So maybe just going to look for the pick. And as has been the pattern here so far from unKnights, they're going to look to go for a late rotation and a late push in towards B. And, you know, it's been kind of unlucky for them. I think they've gone for a lot of grenade plays in mid, and they haven't really gotten any value. And those have been on the rounds where Lazarus haven't been in the Central Plaza. And then the times they don't go for it, Lazarus are stacking like 2-3 members in mid. And Lazarus have been running away with that advantage.
Yeah, Jin just poked out at the perfect time, caught this whole unKnights push, and the rest of the team for Lazarus have just rotated over, and they're going to try and hold the pit as long as they can. Vise got one big frag at the beginning as HCZ does pick off Loons as Vice gets Beck. MKZ picks up Madison, Vice gets another, but HCZ got another. Jin cleans up, and there's only 1 against 1 here. Jin gonna try to do what he can, and what he can is take HDZ off the board, and 6-3 going into the half.
Yeah, Lazarus just getting a very comfortable lead from here, and it really just comes down to, once again, just good reads of the pushes that are coming in from unKnights. And, you know, again, they get that initial pick, but unKnights aren't doing a lot with it. And Lazarus are saying, thank you very much. We will take this round and that round, and they're playing some great crossfire. Can't fault them for it. Let's see how it goes here on the Blacklist side, as Lazarus, over the years, have... I feel like gotten better and better at this Blacklist side on many different maps. So let's see what they have in store here for Compound.
Well, right now they are just holding that upper central passage area, holding the watchtower, just making sure they have all the angles covered. Grenades coming in to, you know, disguise any possible movement. And movement is coming. Are they going to go for B? They're going for B, it looks like. And we do have HCZ trying to do what he can, but Beck goes down to Jin. And all of Lazarus have just collapsed in on the servers. They're in the pit, but they do have Loons, who's kind of just holding out. And Pietro had a sight of him then and didn't take it. HCZ gets a grenade kill here as MKZ takes out Loons. It's 3 against 4, but Lazarus are in the pit, and that is a tough nut to crack.
Yeah, Lazarus not wasting any time. They go for a quick push into B, and this is going to get them a fantastic position. They get smoked down in the door. unKnights looking for this entry, though. They do take out Vice. Madison at 40, trying to hold down the fort, as now it's just Madison against 2. He's got 14 seconds, takes the 1v1, and now just another one. He gets it again, and Madison steps up when they needed him most, and they get Lazarus in such a comfortable lead. That is such an important round for them to take.
Yeah, it really is. 7-3. They're in touching distance of taking this one very, very handily. And they look good for it, right? They're looking very solid. Their movement around the map is great. Their gunplay is just on point right now. And it's going to take something special from unKnights, I feel, to unseat Lazarus from the driving seat that they find themselves in.
Yeah. It's kind of funny, you were talking about expectations before we got into this match, and I was like, well, you know, you look at some of the stats, unKnights should be favored, but you were saying, hey, it's regional finals, it's a different stage entirely, and Lazarus have certainly done their homework on unKnights here. They had the first day off to just watch that first match, and perhaps that gives them a little bit of an edge here in this first map to just get that advantage and use it to now be at 7-3. Let's see if they can put the nail in the coffin as another aggressive push through the central plaza, in straight through the 8 doors is unseen as Madison, and Pietro's gonna get isolated. Madison does get a lot of value already, and Lazarus are just rolling over them.
Yeah, this is a steamroll right now. MKZ is very low. HCZ is fine, but he's not anymore as he goes down to Vice with the pistol and trying to get this kill onto MKZ. MKZ is good for it, though. He gets 1, but he needs to do that 3 more times, and he has 1 hit point remaining. And there you go. Lazarus take another, and they are driving this match. They're commanding unKnights in ways that I don't think I've seen unKnights be before. Like, they're just, they look lost.
Yeah, they really do. And I think they lost a lot of confidence very early on in this map. Lazarus have just been in total control. Remember, the only map yesterday that wasn't close was the 10-1 we did see from 3BL at the end of the day. Every other match we have seen, every other map has been very close. But Lazarus come in here with a bang and are already very far ahead in this map. So definitely bringing kind of new pace to the tournament. And remember, this is unKnights' map pick, so we're going into Mexico that not a lot of teams are very comfortable on, and I'll be curious to see if unKnights can even match Lazarus there, especially after kind of getting bopped here on their map.
Well, unKnights have set a trap in double pillars, and it looks like Madison and 40 are going to walk right into it. Balloons has got a nice angle here as well. Madison gets 1, but does go down as Pietro picks up a big kill on 40, and that gives a little bit of an advantage now towards unKnights, as Loons is looking maybe to push and catch Pietro and HCZ unaware, but the C4 is down in an awkward position.
Lazarus, they just have to push into this. There's no other way to get it done. And Jin is going to open it up with 2 entry into the pillars, and they get the bomb. And now it's 2v2, so it's really anybody's round from here.
Yeah, the swing there was absolutely incredible for Lazarus, going from, I think they were 2 down to tying it all up. So now it's 2 against 2. Jin and Vise, where are they going to go? A is currently completely open, generally because A is the easier side to take, right? It's an easier retake than B, which, you know, you have to drop into the pit, dance around the servers. At least A is a very flat area. There is, you know, the window up there. So it is a spot that can easily be retaken. And I think unKnights are playing this smart, just holding down B, making sure that, you know, they give themselves every opportunity to defuse this bomb once it goes down.
Yeah. And Lazarus looks like they have identified that exact situation that you mentioned, Simon. They say, okay, well, we're just going to push into A, try to get this down. Let's try to defend this 2v2. And I think they've got a pretty good opportunity to do so. As unKnights, they got to push in through some of the utility that's even left here on the side of Lazarus. They have multiple grenades here, even Jin with a flash and a frag just to buy time. That's going to make this a bit easier, and the headshot comes in from Jin. HDZ, though, looking to make this interesting. He's going to tap that bomb, force Jin to pop out. And he's going to hold it. He's going to look to hold it, but the pistol is not enough, and there is enough time for HDZ, who will defuse this bomb.
Yeah, they did everything right. unKnights that time round held the harder retake, which was B, making sure that no one pushed in there. Once it was down, they were just clinical on that entry frag. They were clinical on just tapping the bomb, moving around. All Lazarus needed to do was buy another second, and they would have won that one. As Ben goes down here to Madison, and that's he was in a. Oh, was he all alone there?
Yeah.
Trying to go very deep. It does sometimes work, right? That position is one of those positions that we do sometimes see a lot of success, but if Lazarus, yeah, basically what happened was Lazarus just decided to push up more quickly than he was anticipating and clear him out very early. So it is 5 against 4, early days on this map.
Yeah, Lazarus, though, back in the driver's seat. Let's see where they do want to push this time. Their pushes have been relatively fast. We saw the Central Plaza pushes. We saw pushes into the double pillars just a moment ago. And what is going to be the choice this time around? As A room is very heavily covered here by unKnights. Even after losing one of their guys, putting 2 people in there is a big commitment to that area of the map.
Yeah, but one of the advantages of that is HCZ can pretty much just look down double pillars, see if anyone's coming, and then when they do, they just quickly rotate over. And you would have, I think, whoever number HDZ would be the one to wrap around the back and catch Lazarus unaware. But now, here we go. HDZ goes down. Madison gets that big early entry frag here. They're going to check every corner possible. Lazarus looking to get in and about, but no, they're just going to take it slow, take it easy, creep up, and they might actually catch MKZ completely unawares here.
Yeah, let's see how much value they can get out of this push, as we do see MKZ, as you mentioned, he is looking at this A-long entry at this moment in time. He's actually got Pietro coming over as well, but 40 and Jin, they pick up a couple of key kills, and now it's only HCZ who is over on B. Has to rotate over here into 3 people.
Yeah, he's got to try and perform a miracle. He might actually catch Madison there. He knows he's there. Just ducked in there in time, I feel. And now the grenades are coming in. And he's got to try and maybe get up those stairs very, very quickly.
There you go. Madison going to take him down. Pretty elementary. 3v1, that's no Alucard there. So, yeah, 9-4. I mean, Lazarus coming out with a bang to start off this first match for them. And it has been a treat to watch, as they have been in total control of this one for pretty much the entirety of this map. Which is supposed to be one that unKnights are very confident on, but they have not shown that much at all.
Yeah, the next map is not a particular favorite of, I think, many of the pros here, which is going to be Mexico. But we still have time. unKnights can turn this around. There are 5 match points, 5 map points or set points to go through first. So maybe they can perform a miracle. We see Madison checking every corner as he's poking out and pushing up into that double pillars. No one is in there, but they don't know that. We have the benefit of having the minimap with everyone's location shown.
Yeah, pretty beneficial for us to know that information. And it does look like a push into double pillars is on the cards here for Lazarus. At this point in time, it's just Beck, who has been not having his best map of Crossfire that we have seen. He has performed many, many times better than this in the past. Let's see, as Lazarus are looking to push in, but a smoke just to delay and buy some time. And Lazarus might not go through that.
Yeah, they're just going to poke, make it look as though they're pushing, and then rotate back towards Central Plaza. But we do have HDZ. I think having a nice little angle down there on Central Plaza does, I think, just about capture Lazarus rotating back across. So they are going to just reset their positions. Are unKnights. You can see 2 in A, 1 on B. Sorry, no one really on B right now. They are just holding that double pillars area. But Lazarus, again, push back into double pillars, and they're going to find success this time round. But they do eat a ton of grenade damage. As HCZ gets a big connection. Tries to get Madison. Madison first through the door, first with a frag again. Drops down into the pit. What can he do? Beck is trying to hold on. Pietro gets 1. MKZ gets another. Pietro makes it a second. And Jin gets Pietro. Loons gets Beck, and it's starting to swing back, but HTZ goes down as well, and now it's a 1v1. It's Loons versus MKZ. The bomb needs to be planted. Planted it is gonna be. So there is now 40 seconds left on the clock. It's MKZ versus Loons in the pit, and look at that, MKZ just good for it. C4 is gonna be defused, and unKnights draw themselves back into this one ever so slightly.
Yeah, give themselves a chance. You know, Lazarus, they won 6 rounds in a row, so why can't unKnights win 5 in a row? It definitely is possible, although it is pretty Herculean effort that will be required to actually make it happen. But yeah, nice close round there for unKnights. Good retake onto that B side, pretty swift after the fact to get on in there. And now Lazarus going to take over this double pillar area, feeling pretty good about the way their initial push went. I don't blame them for that.
Yeah, I just want to point out Madison is on absolute fire right now, 18 and 9, and he's generally been the entry man, right? He's been the first through the door. He's just picking up kills left, right, and center on this map. And when you have a player who's playing as well as that, you can just leave him like they're doing now. He is on a solo adventure on the opposite side of the map, and you know he's good for it. He's not going to, you know, go down too easily. He's going to try to, you know, tag back, and if not pick up a kill, injure someone so much that they'll just drop to a grenade or drop to full damage or something like that, you know? So he's just going to hold this pipe right now, just giving Lazarus the options to push A, push B, through the box, making sure no one is there.
They were right about that. No one is there. unKnights are playing pretty far back on the A site, with 2 guys actually looking towards Central Plaza, just making sure. And we'll have to wait and see how this push does go in.
Yeah, they are. They're pushing up through double pillars and are going to be making their way ever so slowly. Our Lazarus, they're going to push through the doors, and who are they going to find? 8CZ on the other side. Is he going to tag this early enough? He does see it coming, but Jin is just that much quicker on the trigger, and that is the go sign as Madison does jump down, but Beck finds himself in this pit and makes it his. He gets 2 early on. Can he make it a 3rd? Can he make it a 4th? Vice is running around, gets Beck down, but MKZ cleans him up. It is a 3v2. Loons and 40 against MKZ, Pietro, and HDZ as they now hold the pit. Pietro gets Loons off the board, and 40 going to try to do what he can, but what he can is switch to his axe and then drop down. And unKnights, they get another win, and is this the comeback?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly could be 2 in a row, and unKnights just, you know, once again, just like unKnights were doing on the Blacklist side, going for very late push into B. Lazarus kind of taking a page out of their playbook. Unfortunately, that has not worked for any team so far. So I would not like to see it anymore. And maybe Lazarus will just go for some kind of central plaza push, as they're not generally known as a team to just run back the same strategy over and over again. But yeah, nice little try, good defense from the side of unKnights, although it was quite predictable, the push that was coming through, as now Lazarus, once again, they take over double pillars, but that doesn't mean you have to commit late into B.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're just kind of holding that central area, and again, they keep, like, I don't know if they're going to commit to double pillars, but it does look as though that is where they want to go, because they do commit and then pull back, commit and pull back. Maybe they're trying to just get unKnights to rotate over and let Madison do what Madison does best and catch people rotating around. As grenades are in, and Madison is very, very aggressive right here. He is far forward and does get taken out by Beck, who spots him from the pit. HCZ gets a big kill, make it. Oh, sorry, that was HCZ gets Vize. As Loons gets ACZ, Beck gets another. And unKnights now are just turning this around. They're just holding their own when it comes to holding this B push. And Lazarus do see, they need to try something else, right? Because every time they push into B, it's just not working.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a mix-up, you know, throwing in one guy through mid, and he got so much value getting in there so quickly, but unfortunately not able to do too much with it, as, you know, still enough time to go for a little rotation, even though it is on compound, and 40's probably just gonna have to go through mid here, but should be able to get this bomb planted, because as we know, all three members of unKnights just stacking on the B site, which is just fine. Definitely a good strategy to go for when you do have the man advantage, as this will be planted here, and let's see if 40 can make the miracle happen.
Well, he's going to have to duck and dodge and cannot touch that one. ACZ picks him up, and unKnights take another. And they're in touching distance of bringing this all the way back. They were down so hard, and now they are just clawing themselves back into this one. It is 9-7. Lazarus still have 2 points, 2 maps to go, 2 rounds to try and close this one out. unKnights, they have to not drop anything here if they're going to have a chance of winning on compound.
Absolutely. unKnights have took them a little bit to wake up, but moving over to the GR side, they have been having a bit more success so far. Only getting 3 rounds in the first half, but now 4 rounds already. And it just feels like they've been one step ahead of Lazarus, just reading the plays. Some of the pushes have been a bit predictable, but especially that last one, just good coverage on B. Good shots that were fired initially to get them the man advantage, and then the overcommittal from Lazarus into B was just immediately shut down. So Lazarus kind of lost for exactly what to go for here. As I said before, they don't generally run back the same strats, but I've been seeing the same formation like 4 or 5 times in a row.
Yeah, and once again, it does look as though they're considering this double pillars push. Actually, we do have Jin pushing into this central area. Grenades are just going to completely close this out. They're not going to get much done, as Madison actually finds himself in front of Pietro, and that's a big early kill. Beck is in trouble here as Madison gets that one as well. That's a big double kill early on, and unKnights, they're just falling like cards. There's 2 against 4. Lazarus in full control. They get the bomb down, but MKZ might have something to say about this. He gets Loons off the board. It's a 2v3. What can HCZ and MKZ do? We've seen them time and time again perform miracles. They're going to have to perform one more if they're going to stand a chance of taking compound. They're switching guns. They're finding the right timing to push in. There's 20 seconds left on this bomb, and MKZ looks as though he's going to start to breach. 40 does have the angles here as Vice gets MKZ. HCZ did get Vice, but 40 gets down HDZ. And Lazarus, they didn't make it easy, but they closed off compound.
Yeah, very nicely done, and, you know, all it required was for Madison